Hey guys, welcome to a late night stock talk. Today's June 4th at 7:25 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you once again for checking out these videos. If you guys do find these videos helpful, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Let's get right to it. Let's waste no time going to SPY, which tracks the S&P 500 ETF on the 180-day chart using the Think or Swim platform. Now, the great thing is everything that we've been talking about in the past few videos in regards to market movement is playing out exactly as we had expected. So let's talk about the current pattern. We know that there was a resistance around 274, a support around 270 to 271 as we had boxed in here. We know that there was a bullish reversal shown by this red line, right? We broke over this red line. We retested this as the new support 4 days ago, bounced right off, and then on Thursday night, what did we say? Do you remember what we said on Thursday night? It would be best to take a position in those ETFs or stocks that follow the market on Thursday night because we closed right at the support, 270 to 271. It was on this day. So if you guys were able to take that position, for example, in TQQQ, by now, I think you would have made over 6% by now. TQQQ went up, I think, over 4% on Friday. It went over a little over 2% today. So hopefully you guys were able to take some sort of position, whether it was today or on Friday. Once you saw that reversal, even on Thursday night, that would be the best time to take that position. So hopefully you guys are able to take advantage of this pattern. All right, here's why we were bullish. Do you remember the reasons why we were bullish for the markets? Okay, so we were bullish because, yes, we retested the support, but we realized that this was a bull flag pattern, right? We had an 8-day of continuous uptrend followed by a consolidation pattern, and now we're going back up. How did we go back up? So remember, in yesterday's video, we said that the easiest way to get up there, to cross that 274 resistance mark, was to gap up pre-market. What happened? We gapped up pre-market. This is pretty much exactly what we expected, and here we are, right? So we went above. We're now over the resistance. Where can we expect to go in the near future? So it closed today, not quite to 275, perfectly fine for me, right? It can continue to go higher. I expect it to go to 275, 276, and the blue line that I drew is 277.50. It can be a little lower, it can be a little higher. It doesn't really matter, but we know where the general area of resistance should be, and it should be around this area. So I do expect the markets to continue pushing higher in the near future. So hopefully you guys are able to take those positions that follow the market. So let's take a quick glance at TVIX, which tracks volatility. The reason why we say a quick glance is because we expected, as markets pushed over the resistance, as SPY pushed over the 274 mark, we expected volatility to fall. So this, so-called support, right, around 473 doesn't have to hold at all. As markets continue to push higher, as SPY pushes the 275, 276 mark, we expect volatility to continue to fall, even below, 460, 450, 440, etc., so on and so forth. So right now, we're not looking to go into volatility as markets are pushing higher, but once the markets do encounter a resistance area, then we can look into volatility. But for now, let's wait and see. All right, tracking /CL, crude oil futures. Crude oil futures, here we are on the 180-day chart. We know that crude oil has been making a higher low, but then we saw this magnitude, this big decline right here. And we said that this was a bearish pattern. Even when it started reversing around this area, we talked how that was a more bearish pattern. Why was that bearish? Can you answer that question? So the reason why it was bearish is because note that we have a resistance at 69.34, right? This is pretty undoubtable that that was a resistance. Where did we push to when we tried to get back? we only managed to push to 68.67. This should have told us a lot of things. Weakness in crude oil. That means that the support could be rather weak as well. So because we weren't able to push even to the resistance, all of a sudden we're now coming back down. And now we've broken past the major support area for crude oil. So which ETFs or ETNs are we looking to get into? So we're looking into DWT, which is inverse crude oil. So here's DWT on the 180-day chart. We know that this is a declining ETN, so keep that in the back of your mind as we're looking at this pattern. But at the same time, we know that this pattern or this ETN has a lot of room to make up, right? You guys can see that we're right here, but there's a lot of room for it to continue to make up before we kind of become a little more bullish for crude oil. So ask yourself, we're looking at the 180-day chart. What's the best time to take a position? Well, the best time to take a position right now is look how we bounced off the 20 EMA and then got up there. What can we wait for? Come down to the 20 EMA, take a position around $9.05. You know, if it doesn't $9.10 around there, it starts reversing. Then you know where to set your stop loss. You know that's the best potential to gain the profit that you want. Now you might be asking, well, crude oil's going down. How am I going to get into DWT? It's just going to go straight up, right? So not necessarily. So looking at 4/CL, let's just revisit that really quickly. Yes, we have this, massive sell-off in which we didn't even take a break, right? This was all in a period of 1 to 2 days. But it doesn't really have to do that. Note that when it starts coming down, look how we start kind of getting close to the 20 EMA. What do you think will happen to DWT as this, kind of slightly recovers before it comes back down even more? Well, DWT will go down back to its support. That's when we can take the position. And the reason why we can take a position, another reason is, where's the next support on 4/CL, crude oil futures? Well, one might argue that, well, isn't this a support? Is this a support? And I can say not really. This is not a support at all. You guys might argue, well, this is a support. Well, we broke this support, right? At 66.22. So we can see maybe a very minor, if any, support at 65.11, a small support at $64, but the more major support we see is around this area, the $62.30 mark. That's when we can see the next major support. So we're still looking for crude oil to decline, and I'm looking for a position into DWT in the near future. All right. So you guys might be asking, well, why aren't you looking at drip and gush? Aren't you in that position? So yes, I am still in drip. So here's drip on the 180-day chart, and we're trying to wean away from looking at drip and gush because it's not a 1-to-1 correlation with that and 4/CL, as you might have noticed. If more follows SPSIOP, which fell more than 2%, which is the oil and gas exploration, so it fell over 2%, which is why drip went over 7% today. So I did release partial position at 694, but I'm still holding drip because the drip does have a lot of room to make up, even though it doesn't follow crude oil 1-to-1. So you guys can see that we've been continuously, right? We broke this major support. And let's just take a look at the amount we fell. We fell close to 40% before starting to recover. So drip does have a lot of room to make up. Doesn't mean that it'll hit $9.54, right? It doesn't have to. It doesn't even mean that it has to hit $8.15. But we know we can reasonably expect that, okay, there's a great potential to get to $7.50 again, right? There's a good potential to get around $8. So that's what we're looking for in the near future. We're making a higher low pattern, and then now we're back on the uptrend. This looks pretty good for drip, at least for now. So hopefully you guys were able to catch this train as it is moving forward. Okay, 4/NG, which tracks natural gas. Natural gas, interesting pattern once again, right? Here we go. On the 180-day chart, we see that natural gas has been making a higher high followed by a higher low. This is the pattern that we like to invest in. But at the same time, we see that it has done a double peak, but we're managing to catch it around the blue line, which is the 50 SMA. So you might be asking, well, is this a good time to take that position? You could, right? you could take a position in the ticker UGAZ or UGAZ because we're pretty much at the, support or the upper end of the support, and you guys can take a position if it starts going up. If you guys are more conservative, where can you take that position? Well, one position you can take is around 2.842, around that area. Another one would be around 2.820 when natural gas falls to those areas. So it just depends on your comfort level. Are you willing to take that risk right now versus waiting it out or missing the opportunity, right? So that's just something that you guys have to decide. But overall, UGAZ is the one that I'm looking more bullish in. The reason why is we've broken over. Here's UGAZ on the 180-day chart. 63.88 was pretty much the resistance line. Where was the next resistance? Well, we found a resistance here around 68.47, but look how we broke over some major resistance lines, right? We broke over, and we expect this to continue possibly pushing even higher. So where's the next resistance? Well, the next resistance that I can see is over $75. So, this is just something that I would continue to look through if you guys were wanting to invest into some commodities, for example. Okay, let's look at 4/GC, which tracks gold futures. So here we go. Gold on the 180-day chart. We've taken a look at this many times, actually every single video, right? We talked about how gold has been making this declining pattern, and we know that there's a resistance at 1312, a support around 1286.8, and now we're back on the downtrend. Hopefully that wasn't too big of a surprise for you. Right, gold didn't really move that much. JDST didn't move that much. So I'm not looking to take a position in this one just because we're pretty much, you guys can see, right? We're pretty much in the middle area. If gold falls, then gold just kind of falls to 1269, in which we can look for a JNUG position. If gold starts reversing, then we can take that position once again. But right now, there's no clear-cut direction. Well, the clear-cut direction is actually going down, but the potential isn't there for me to go into JDST, in my opinion. So that's what I'm looking for. So let's get to your tickers right now. So let's read some of your comments. Are you guys excited? All right. So Monica, SPY broke above. Yay. Yeah, yay, right? Oh, and let me just tell you guys one more thing. You remind me of SPY, which is I went into SOXL. So I sold drip partial position, and I went into SOXL. You might be asking why again. You'll be like, Kevin, isn't this overextended? Isn't this something that you told us not to do? Because it's overextension, we wait. So yes, I agree. We should wait until we get to the 20 EMA. But recall, this is also in conjunction with the market's pushing higher over the resistance levels. This is semiconductor. We know that this is bullish ETF. We talked about this one in terms of a bull flag pattern, right? You guys can see this surge followed by the flag, and now we have another surge higher, right? So even though I didn't buy myself at a prime opportunity when it was, but following the markets, this is one that does kind of follow the markets. You guys can see that Nvidia, AMD did push higher today, and I expect this one to go at least a little bit higher. I might sell it tomorrow or in the next few days. We'll just see what happens with this one, but yeah. Okay. Monica, I've been watching CZR and I'm not sure about finding support. Let's take a look at this one. CZR, Caesars Entertainment. Yeah, okay. I'm seeing it at 1180. I'm not sure if resistance is at 1250 and 1325. Interested in your thoughts. Thank you for your video. So you're welcome. Thanks for calling out the ticker. So yeah. So I do have a course in development, which will also go through everything in terms of identifying support and resistance. But yeah, okay, so let's take a look. You said $11.80. So we're looking at the 180-day chart. So 1180, you said, was right here. So this isn't really a support, in my opinion. It could find support here, but the major support area you guys can you can see is around here in the past. In the past, it's been right here. Then it kind of went to right here. And now it's just declining, right? In the more near term, I agree. There is no clear-cut support. Let's take a look at the 1-year chart just to see if there's any pattern. Okay. Yeah, so there's no clear-cut support right now, but we can expect perhaps maybe possibly a support here, but we don't know yet. But what we do know is in the more near term, you guys can see how that is declining, right? It is declining. Why is it declining? Well, we have the 20 EMA pointing lower. We have our candles below the 20 EMA as well, right? This kind of looks like perhaps something like this, perhaps even something like that. So this is not something you would want to invest in as it is declining, but you know where to find a good position, right? Should you get into a position, if you wanted to get into a position. Yeah, and let me just see the potential for profit for this one. Okay. Yeah. So you guys can see that the potential for profit and risk is similar, which I don't really like. And because this is not a clear-cut pattern, I can almost argue that a more comfortable position would be even down here, right? Or even a double bottom around 1048, just because this isn't very clear-cut. What happens if you take this position and it kept going lower, back to this support, 5.5%? You would have been kind of sad, right? Because you're like, oh man, the markets are pushing up, but Caesar is pushing down. Ooh, all right, you wouldn't be as excited. So this is just something that I wouldn't go in because of this pattern. All right, let's take a Coolio. Congrats on 500 subs. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was very exciting. Oh yeah, thank you for all of your support. 500 subs, isn't that exciting, guys? All right, so Bugalarilo, hey. Thanks for making these videos. Can you please do BIDU? Yeah, certainly. So here's BIDU, BIDU. We're looking at the 1-year chart. Let's take a look at the 180-day chart. Okay, so I've looked at this one before, and we so yeah, that's interesting. We actually boxed in this one because this was supposed to act as a resistance. Note how we went straight over that resistance, and now we're heading back up. So let's see this pattern. Let me look at the 1-year pattern. Okay. Right, so this pattern is, I think, good, but is this the prime opportunity to buy in right now? So we're currently at 260.90, pretty much around this area. So once again, I kind of want to ask you, you know, can you make more money if you took a different position? If you bought in now, the number of candlesticks above that position or in which you would take a profit is very little. You're banking on the fact that we're going to start crossing all these resistance areas, and that's not very good in terms of, you know, like technicals. Is just very risky, right? You can imagine how risky it is because if you're banking on the fact that it's going to break all these resistance areas. Whereas if it starts coming down, being patient, whether it's 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, you know, whatever the time period is, what if we took a position at 226, 227, 228 when it gets down there? Much comfortable position, right? And you know where to set your stop loss. Where do you even set your stop loss if you're wrong this time? Or you're going to set it below the 20 EMA? It's just really hard to tell. So I agree, it can get up to 284, possibly even higher, but it's just not the prime time to take that position for this one. It is a good trend, higher low, higher high. I do like it. Just let's wait for this one, right? So I actually have, you guys see my alert at around 270 through 231. That's where my alert's at. That's pretty much what I'm doing, waiting for this one to get down. All right, Terry, thanks, Kevin. Can you please talk about ISRG? What are good entry points? So we'll do this one, all right? We'll do one of them, Terry. I'll try to tackle. Remind me the other ticker, ABMD, in the comments below, so that I'll do it tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. So here's ISRG. Where is a good entry point? Okay, so good question. Where is a good entry point? We like this pattern, right? Whoa, my goodness. We like this pattern because it's been making higher lows and higher highs, and you guys can see this higher high pattern, right? I like it. So where can you take the best position? Well, the best position will once again be at the support around 434, 435. This is once again one of them that we have to be a little more patient because we're climbing so much right now. Sure, it can pop over that resistance and go higher, but to what degree, we don't really know. Let's wait for it to come down to around 437, 438 mark. Let's take a look at the 3-year chart really quick just to see what it's been doing. Can you guys see that? This one's a little more clear, right? This massive push up, what happened? Came up, came down, reconfirmed the 20 EMA. Came down, reconfirmed the 20 EMA. Came up. I can almost argue that this is a good short sell opportunity, but don't do it, right? This is an uptrending stock, so it's very risky to short sell, but at the same time, we know that the entry position is at the 20 EMA. The next time it falls, it might consolidate a little longer before it goes back up. But regardless, we're looking for an entry position 437, 438, 439, 440. Around those areas, more comfortable than 477, which we're so high. We're pretty much at the resistance area right now. All right, the Giants. Thanks, Kevin. Hope you have a great trading week. I want to buy AMD once it gets to $13. Okay, AMD. Yes, this one. Okay, we talked about this one, and this is actually going to be the stock to watch for June. Okay, I'm going to make a ticker. Yeah, I'm going to make myself a ticker, right? I'm going to make a video in terms of a June stock ticker to watch, and this is definitely AMD, because AMD we know has been consolidating for so long in a bull flag pattern, and $13, is it possible to get down there? Yes, it's possible, but I might even take a look at 1378 as a good position. 1380, that's when I'm considering to take a position. So I'm not even I don't know if it's possible to get to $13. If it is, that's really good. I'll add more to my position, but as it gets closer to 1380 mark, I will start taking that position, because AMD is just moving a little too quick, and I can't really catch up, because if I buy in right now, I'm just, you can imagine where we can take that position, even though it's going up. I really like this position, so look out for that content video. Ashish, thanks for looking into my comment about UWT DWT. Yeah, thank you once again for pointing that out. UWT DWT with a pretty much one-to-one correlation with 4/CL. Same thing applies to UGLD and DGLD. Yeah, thank you very much, and we'll take a look at those as well in the future, I think. All right, George, can you do one for TMUS and BAC? So I'll take one of them. I'll just take your first one, TMUS, which is T-Mobile. I think we've talked about this pattern for a while, and now that I'm looking at this actually looks a little better, because we're actually looking at the weekly chart. Okay, what's developing, guys? Wow, this is interesting. So this almost is starting to look like AMD's pattern, in which we're starting to form this possible bull flag pattern going on here. So yeah, this would be, I think, a good time to take a position now that I've seen this pattern. I think we've looked at the 180-day, see we're at the support right here, and we said that once it's at a support 56.17, even right now, I think if it starts coming back down a little bit, we can take that position. T-Mobile is now on my radar. Good job. Good call out. I think I like this one a lot. So add this one to my ticker list. And now where to go? So there it is. Yeah, so T-Mobile has been holding the support around $56.14. What's going on? $56.14, and yeah, that's where we can take that position. I think if you want to take one right now, you could, because we've been consolidating for so long, and at some time we do expect this one to start managing to push higher. So I think a good time to take a position now. Pretty good. Could you get in better? Possible. Are we losing time? Yeah, a little bit. Like, we consolidated twice. We did a triple bottom already. This one looks like it's on the path to going higher. So yeah, good call out, good trend, and this is something we can take advantage of for sure. I like it. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you for all of your ticker submissions. I hope you found these videos helpful, and I'll see you guys. So I don't think I can do a video tomorrow, guys, unfortunately, because I will be out of town. I'm going to be on a plane. I'm going to be gone, right? I can't do a video on the plane unless I really try. No. So you'll look out for a video on Wednesday, but hopefully the market analysis that we did today will still hold up tomorrow. I don't expect it to change a whole lot. if the markets do come down, sure, it can retest that 274 area, right? But since it's pushing higher, the general trend should be higher as well. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday for another stock talk. Happy trading. Hope you guys are making some good profits as the markets are pushing higher. And yeah, let me know how you guys trade, how you guys are doing, how's life, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Wednesday, the day after tomorrow.